Hey guys, so I'm just cleaning up my beauty room right now. I just filmed a tutorial for this look. This is a full face of ColourPop Cosmetics, the Disney Villains collection. I had really wanted to just come and talk and hang out and share something with you guys. I actually had filmed this video a while back, but I don't remember why I didn't wind up uploading it, but I figured today, instead of a chit chat get ready with me, it's like chit chat get unready with me. So I'm going to be cleaning my brushes. So guys, it is thundering and lightning out. I swear to God, it just it's so spooky out, guys. I can't believe it. And this is a spooky story. This is a spooky story. It really is. Let me get right into it and tell you about it. I'm just going to be cleaning my brushes, and so I just want to share this story with you guys because it's so crazy. There's a lot to it, but let me get right into it. So the story I want to share with you guys today is about how my best friend, my BFF, was a psychopath. And I didn't know it at the time, and like a lot of people, nobody knows it at the time because they come across as like the most amazing people ever. So you meet them and you're just like, wow, honest to God. And you hear so many people say it, and I gotta say it too. It's the God's honest truth. When you meet them, you're almost like feeling like your prayers have been answered. Like, wow. I'll never forget the day I met my psychopath best friend. I'm laughing now, guys, but it's really, I was in more than terror for a very, very, very long time, till probably only just about 2 years ago I started to not be as afraid. Even today, when I thought about telling you this, I got afraid. I got scared. I'm like, what if she sees it and she starts coming for me again? Let me just tell you guys. Let me get into it. So like I said, when I first met her, I really was like, wow, all my prayers have been answered, because I met her, I had been in one school, and so let me start at the beginning. I had been in one school, I didn't know her, and I was pretty much bullied in that school. So anyway, after I got to 8th grade, I just had enough of everybody kind of like, treating me like an outcast. And I really just thought, I really just want to be happy. And I said to, my father, I said, I'm not going to go back to that school again. I just wanted a fresh start where maybe I could make friends, where I could be happy. So, I didn't want to be made fun of anymore. And I just told him I'm not going back there. And so what happened was I wound up going to a different school for 8th grade. So the first day at my new school, I was so happy because I just felt so free. At my new school, first day I showed up, I did my makeup, I was so happy. I had an outfit, a nice, I don't know how, but I had a cute, I just felt good about myself. And first day, I remember they gave me a locker, and everybody at the new school, as soon as I walked in the door, was so, everybody was just different. They would smile at me, they would, as soon as I got there, everybody was so welcoming to me, and I really felt so happy. And the very first day, I got to my locker. After a few classes, I go to my locker, and this girl comes up to me, and she just looked so amazing. She just looked like everything that I could ever, dream of, like what you would see on TV, and like the perfect person. She just had on the best outfit, this gorgeous makeup, hair. She seemed so cool, and in reality, she was the most popular girl in school. And then she came up to my locker and she was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, hi. And she's like, oh, you're new? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, hi. We'll just call her Brandy for the sake of the video. But she goes, hi, I'm Brandy. And I was like, wow. I was like, oh, hi. And she goes, oh, you're new? Where are you from? I mean, she was so nice to me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I could not believe it. I'll never forget. She goes, what's your number? She goes, let's hang out or something like that. I'll never forget though, handing her my number. And I don't know why I don't remember how it progressed, but after that we were friends. I think she invited me over her house, and I remember I went, maybe she said after school we're all gonna go back to my house, and I was like, great. I couldn't believe it, after being ignored and like, treated like an outcast and treated like, you know, really, to be honest, it was really bad, but, you know, I'm not gonna get into it. But, and then here she was, the most popular girl in the school, invited me over to her house. I was like, oh my god, this is, I just couldn't believe it. It was like, it was really was a dream come true. I remember I got to her house and she lived in this humongous house and she had a pool and her house was so beautiful. It was like on an estate. I was like, what in the world, guys? After that, we were friends. We were best friends. And we were friends for a long time. Like, we did everything together. Every day we would just always be together. I mean, I felt like a lot of people were even like, I couldn't believe it. I would go in the lunchroom and you walk in with her and everybody just be like, oh, she was like a celebrity, to be honest. Everybody was obsessed with her. And I didn't even talk a lot, guys. I was so shy back then. I didn't even talk, so I would just pretty much just, you know, she would talk, and I would never even talk. I was very, very shy. I just couldn't believe she was my friend. So this went on for like a few years. She's still so popular. She went into high school, so popular. She always made friends wherever she went. She had everybody knew her. I couldn't believe she was my friend though. I was like, wow, this is great. I was like, this is amazing. But I noticed that she started, but I really didn't care because at the time I had very low self-esteem. But she actually, when we became more and more friends, she was actually like she was kind of like mean to me. Like, she would always say, why do you talk like that? Why do you act like that? Why are you, you know, she would be my best friend, but at the same time she would, out of nowhere, she would start criticizing me, like, why do you chew like that? Why do you everything? She would criticize me. And I just wouldn't even say anything, you know, because you guys don't know how I used to be, but I was abused, so I was really shy. I was really quiet. I was very meek because I was abused. So I was used to kind of being abused. So when she would, you know, say these things to me, I felt really bad, but I didn't think, like, you know, I didn't really think I had a choice or whatever, you know. Now I would never let someone talk to me like that, but when I was little, you know, I didn't really know better, you know. Because I met her when I was 13, and when I was 16, she got a car, and she really wasn't just me then you would see that she would be strange to. Like, she would get very violent because she would act like the whole world she would act like she was this kind of like angel, but then behind closed doors she would be plotting and planning with her other friend. There was another girl that she was friends with, and they would always want to go do things to people, like, you know, pretty much like crazy stuff. I can't even remember, like, to be honest, they would want to beat people up, like things like that. She's like, we're gonna go. I never went, so I don't know what happened. I would just leave, but I know the two of them would go and do, like, they would be like, well, we're gonna go just get somebody. Like I said, I never went, so I never saw her do that, but I knew that they were going to go do something like violent, and I just couldn't believe it, and so I wouldn't go with them. But they were definitely going to do like some crazy stuff. Like, so another thing, when she started driving, you know, I would go out drive, I would get in the car with her, and she would just drive like 100 miles an hour, and then you know, she would pretend like she was gonna kill us, like crash into a wall or something, and she would just and I'd be like, oh my god, what are you doing? And I would scream, and she'd be like, just kidding, you know, why are you such a, you know, you know, she would say I was stupid for being like scared that she was gonna just crash us into a wall. And the more scared that I got, the more she would laugh. So I didn't understand at the time, and I was just like, what the heck's going on here? Because I was like, she was changing, like little by little. She was really, really changing. So that's what was going on. This is like 16, 17 years old. This is what had started, just really violent, you know, outrageous behavior. And I was really scared. So I think at that time, I really just, after she met that other girl and they were going out and doing like violent stuff, I pretty much didn't really want to be around her so much anymore. You know, she was being more and more nasty to me, saying really nasty, mean things to me. She would tell me, like, nobody's ever gonna like you, no guy could ever like you. You know, she would tell me, you know, just make fun of me. She would just constantly criticize me. And then if I told her, you know, but I never really, I would tell her eventually, you know, don't talk to me like that. and she would just totally change. Like, I didn't say that, you're imagining things, you know. I was just joking. What wound up happening was, she wound up, so I really didn't want to spend much time with her anymore, and so, you know, I was trying to avoid her, trying to stay away. But it was very hard for me to say no to her, because I was always so grateful to her for how she had become. I felt like I was so grateful to her for being my friend that first day at school when I didn't know anybody, and how she took me in and, you know, brought me, you know, I always was really grateful to her for that. And I loved her. When you love somebody like a sister, you love them. You don't care even if they're crazy, you love them. But a lot of you guys know, when you love someone like a sister, you don't care. You know, I don't care if she was crazy, but it got to be that it turned seriously dangerous. What happened, guys, was I had gotten a boyfriend, and the first boyfriend that I got, she was really mad about it. But what happened was, you know, time is going on now, so now I'm like 18 years old, and I did meet another guy, and then I really liked this guy, and so I was spending more and more time with this guy. So me and her still saw each other, like we were still friends, but I was just spending more time with, you know, less time with her, I guess. And so what happened was, one day I got a letter in the mail, and it did not have a return address on it, and it was all letters cut out of a magazine, and instead of like writing the word I, it was a picture of an I, and it said K-I-L-L, and, you know, I forgot how they did it, but it was pictures, and it was all messed up, something like I had seen in a movie, like from a serial killer movie or something like that. And so that's exactly how the letter looked, and it said, like, I'm gonna kill you and things like that. It was horrific. When I opened this letter up, I was so terrified. To this day, I'll never forget. It was like I was the wind got knocked out of me. Like, I couldn't even breathe. I was so afraid. And she just happened to be at my house when the letter came. And I told her, I was like, oh my God, look at this letter. And she goes, oh my God, Alegra. She goes, I know who wrote this letter to you. And I was like, who wrote it? Who the freak wrote this letter? She goes, oh, it's the guy you're dating. And I was like, what? Why would he write me a letter like this? She goes, trust me, believe, I could tell. He's crazy, he's not the guy for you. She goes, I could tell, he wants to hurt you. I was like, what are you talking about? Because he was so nice to me. Another thing, she goes, look at this. She goes, look where the postage stamp is from. And I looked at where the postage stamp was from, and it said this weird town that he is from. And she goes, see, it's from his town. And like, nobody's from this town. It's like far away little town. And I was like, oh my God, it was from his town. And then she was just telling me, you gotta believe me, girl. You gotta stay away from him. He is so bad. He's gonna hurt you. I know it. And I was like, really? And I really didn't know him that good yet. I only knew him like 3 months. And I knew her now for like 5 years at least. So I was like, I actually was starting to believe her. I actually stopped talking to him after that. So he would call me, and I was just like, I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like kind of like believing her. So I was like, I better stay away from that guy. I guess she was right. And so this was going on now for like a month, and I was still wondering though. Something was still telling me that he didn't write it. And I actually was on the internet, and I was Googling, is there any way to find out who sent a letter, you know, to trace it to, you know, whatever. And I was Googling, you know, I got a letter, no return address, and I was trying to find out who sent it. And it said on the internet, it said, if you get a letter like this, take it to the police, you know, maybe they could look at it for fingerprints, you know, things like that. So, and I remember I was at her house, and she was upstairs in her room, and I was in the kitchen on the computer. So I read that, and I was really happy, because I was like, wow, there's a solution. I'm going to take it to the police, because I was still really scared. Like, I still was scared about who could have wrote me this letter. So I ran upstairs to tell her, because I was so happy. And I thought she was going to be happy too. And I opened the door. I was like, guess what, Brandy? I was like, I just read on the computer that I could take the letter to the police, and they're going to try to find out who sent it to me. They have ways to find out. Maybe there's fingerprints on it. They're going to do this, that, and the other. And they're going to try to find out who sent me this letter, because I was really terrified, guys. I was still terrified. And she got up from her wherever she was in the room. She shut the door. I'll never forget this, guys. She shut the door to the bedroom, and she looked at me so cold and psychotic. And she goes, "You listen to me. You don't tell anybody about that letter." She goes, "You're not taking that letter to the police." I was so scared, I can't tell you. And I said, "Why? Why wouldn't I take it to the police? I want to make sure that the person gets caught or whatever." She goes, "You're not taking that letter to the police." She was telling me like so terrifying, like a serial killer. And I was like, oh my God, I was so scared. And then I was like, "But why? Why? This is a good idea." She goes, "No, you're not. You're not telling anybody about this letter. You're not taking it to the police." Like, she was threatening me, like, very scary. And then finally she said, "You're not taking that letter to the police." And she's, like I said, threatening me when she's saying this. "You are not." And I'm like, "Why?" And then she says to me, "Because I wrote that letter." And she said, "If you tell anybody that I wrote that letter," and it was like I don't know how she thought of this so fast, or if she had planned it months in advance, I don't know, but she told me, she goes, "If you tell anybody about that I wrote that letter," she said, "I'm going to go to the police, and I'm going to tell the police that your boyfriend raped me." She goes, "He's going to go to jail." She said, he's going to lose everything. She said, "He's going to be in jail, and it's all going to be because of you." She said, "So are you going to tell anybody about that letter, that I wrote the letter?" I was like, oh my God. I was so terrified. I can't even begin to tell you how terrified I was, because I knew that she meant it, that she was going to do it. She had it all planned out. She actually said more, like how she was going to put bruises on her, how she was going to make it look like he raped her somehow, and he was going to get convicted for sure, and it's going to be because of me. So she goes, "You better not tell him. You better not tell him, and you better not tell anybody that I wrote that letter." She said, that's what she said, "I did it for your own good." She said, "You don't understand how beautiful you are and how special you are to me, how much I love you. I just want to protect you. I just want the best for you, and that's why I did all of this, because I have to protect you from him." And she went on and on and on, telling me how she did all this stuff because she cares about me. She went to his town to mail the letter, so it would be mailed with the stamp from his town. She had the whole thing planned out. So I was, needless to say, beyond terrified and horrified, because even to that point, I just thought she was a mean girl. I didn't know she was a psychopath, and I really didn't know about psychopaths then. So I know about them now, that they take pleasure from hurting people, that they have no fear, they don't have any emotions. So that's why it all makes sense now, why she would have did all this stuff. But at the time, I didn't know. I wound up getting out of her house. I remember thinking, stay calm, just tell her whatever she wants to hear so you could get the heck out of here. So I was like, oh yeah, fine, great, okay. Just told her whatever I could to get the F away from her and out of the house. So after that, guys, I swear to God, I truly was too terrified to tell my boyfriend that. I was too terrified to tell him what had really happened. And like 2 months went by and I didn't see him anymore, but I just kept avoiding her too. Whenever she would call me, I'd be like, oh, I'm busy, or I can't go out, or whatever. I didn't see her either. So I was probably just working. I used to work like 3 jobs, guys. And I was like, wow, I was so terrified. So anyway, what wound up happening was my boyfriend at the time, he kept calling me and asking me to go out, and I kept saying no, and kept saying no. And then for some reason, after like 2 months went by, I was like, maybe I can tell him what happened. I said, I gotta tell somebody, So I wound up meeting up with him, and I told him, I said, please don't tell anybody. I said, I made him promise, you're not going to go to the police, you're not going to tell anybody, because I told him, you promise you won't tell anybody what I'm about to tell you. And he was promised, and I believed him. So I told him the whole story, and he was like so shocked to this day, but he didn't tell anybody, because she said, don't go to the police. She said, if you go to the police, I'm going to do all this stuff. And so I made him promise not to go to the police, not to tell anybody, and he promised me, and then he's still shocked about it to this day. And to be honest, to this day, I'm still afraid of this person. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to upload this video now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm actually scared. But I just wanted to warn you guys, you know, psychopaths are real. They're everywhere. You know, it's not just serial killers like you see in the movies. These people come across as extremely charming, extremely charismatic, nice. They answer to your prayers. So just beware, guys. If anybody, you meet someone and they seem so perfect, and then a lot of times they come on very strong at first. So that's another clue. Somebody that's really rushing things with you, rushing friendship, rushing intimacy, trying to just put a lot of pressure on you. Just right away, don't think like, wow, this is so awesome, which is what normal people think. But the reality is that that's a thing that psychopaths do a lot. They try to rush the intimacy, rush things, rush the friendship, because they're on a mission to get what they want from you. So you know, they're not normal people. So there's a lot of telltale signs, red flags, that I know about now. But definitely, guys, if you are, you know, another thing, people that make you feel bad, criticize you, it's not a joke. They're not joking around. They're not just joking, you know. Normal people don't do that. Normal friends don't want to hurt your feelings, criticize you, say mean things to you. So people that love each other, if someone loves you, they don't hurt you. They're not out to hurt you. They wouldn't cheat on you in a million years. They wouldn't want to. They wouldn't want to hurt your feelings, because when you love somebody, you don't want to hurt them. So, you know what I mean? It's like, so if you have a friend like that, boyfriend or girlfriend, a husband, wife, just be aware. That's not normal. You know what I mean? That's not normal. If you notice that, stay away from these people. Just be like, maybe this is really a person I should not be around, spend time with. Maybe you should start avoiding them, because it's only going to get worse, I'm telling you. So, I love you guys so much. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me today and hearing about my little drama, my horrible story. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!